Okay, so this is the morning after the power outage, so I haven't actually gotten in and seen your substantive discussion posts from week 2 yet, so I can't comment on them too well, but I did want to tell you this. If you have not read the course description and syllabus, which is at the top of the front Moodle page, please go in, print that out, make sure you read it. All of my course guidelines and grading criteria and everything is in there, and that's a live document, so if I do make any changes I always update that, so please make sure you've read that and that you understand it. So what we're doing this week is we're really jumping in with both feet in terms of history, and we're going to read the first half of Longitude, which is this narrative history about John Harrison's approach to solving the problem of longitude with his chronometer. And the reason that we're reading it is because we're going to see, kind of in the background of the story, how the history of the preceding centuries and then into the centuries that she's going to be talking about are influencing this story and allowing it to happen. So what history are we talking about? One, I always look at the Black Plague, and that's kind of our switch. And it's our switch that says we're exiting the Middle Ages, we're coming into the Renaissance. What is the Renaissance? It is this time where we are going to start to say that knowledge comes from experience and not just God. And that is crucial, because all of a sudden we are going to learn things by doing them and not just by having someone tell us they are so. And so as we go through the Renaissance and we have this flourishing, this rebirth of knowledge, what will happen coming out of that is that some people will start to say, well, wait a minute, if knowledge of the world can come from experience, can knowledge of God come from experience? Can I read the Bible by myself? And that's what Martin Luther is going to say. He's going to say, wait a second, all of this stuff that these guys have been saying isn't quite true. Maybe we should start to experience God for ourselves, and really what the church has been doing is not what God has laid out. And then also, of course, we're going to start saying, wait a minute, we can start to learn things from this natural world, and that opens up the setting for the scientific revolution, which is where all of this is happening. At the same time that all of this is going on, we're starting to get better at boats. And basically Europe is, and China as well, but there's different things going on there. And so what's happening as all of this is progressing, and human thought is really changing in terms of the shackles that were true in the Middle Ages, is the age of exploration is also happening. And all of these things could be seen as discrete themes in history, but at the same time, each one builds into the other and makes the other possible. And so what we're going to be seeing is really a small story of this, but you're going to be seeing all of this in the background. Now, you could study each of these things for a week. You could study the Renaissance, you could study the Reformation, you could study the scientific revolution, and that is absolutely fine to do. But now that we're in college, I'm going to assume that you know kinds of the basics of these things, and you've learned them in grammar school, and you've learned them in high school, and now it's time to start refreshing ourselves of these things, and then seeing what greater things came of them, and seeing them more in context. So that's what we're going to do with longitude. We're going to see this big kind of 300-year time frame at once, and then we're going to build on that as we go through the course. The other thing that we're doing this week, though, for the first time, is writing historical IDs, or things that help us identify, provide some depth, and then significance. And I've given you a couple of PDFs on those. What these are going to help us to do, moving through this course, is basically teach each other the little nuggets that help us understand the whole. And we're going to always be putting these in the post forum. And I'm going to have that set as a cascading forum So you're going to see everybody's entry. And so what I'm asking you to do with these IDs is do a teeny tiny piece of research. Someone has the Renaissance this week, someone has the Reformation, but then somebody else has Galileo. And all you have to do is do your little bit of research, but then when you go in there, there will be a number of different pieces in there, so you'll be able to at a glance, probably in 20 minutes of reading, really get a sense of things that are showing up in longitude and things that are providing the background to longitude. So hopefully these will be fun, and if we all add to the collective whole, we'll get a lot of history there on one page. So look at that PDF and look at how I'm asking you to do that, and then hopefully these will be productive little nuggets. Students really usually enjoy these. They say they learn a lot, both from their own research, but then kind of just breezing through what happens in the post forum. So I hope that's fun. All right. So enjoy longitude. We're going to do the first part this week, the next part the next week. If you do find there's an A&E movie of longitude, but it's really wacko to watch if you haven't read the book, because they make it into like a movie. So it is strange, but we'll see clips next week of another documentary. And if you do find the A&E, watch it if you want to. It's a little long, and it's better to have read the book to understand what they're doing. All right? Have a great week.